Jay, you have had, I know we talked about Elden Ring in a previous episode, but Jay, I don't think you had even started playing the game yet. And for me, I've never been a big fan of Dark Souls or the franchise. In fact, I don't even Bloodborne, which was the best to me, probably doesn't even make my top 100 games. But I would say Elden Ring is a vast exception to that. I would probably put that up. I'd probably say Elden Ring's probably maybe top 25 for me. But I know Jay, you really love the game, so I mean, go. I mean, yeah, feel free to go out on a tangent. What aspects you like about it, and I'm assuming you're still playing it.
Oh, he's playing it.
Let's just put it this way. I've had it for a little bit over two. I haven't played it in about 5 days now, 4 days now, because I like to, give myself a little break. And but within these 2 weeks, I've probably put in maybe over 80, at least to 100 hours of game.
Wow.
And you got Hidetaki Miyazaki, and you got George R. R. Martin, and I mean, we probably mentioned this before in the other video, but it's like you got a Lord of the Rings Greek god Mount Olympus story. All the bosses, all the lore in the game, all of the voice actors in the game are they're professional, British trained actors. Even in Japan, they don't even do a Japanese dialogue for the game. They just do it all in English, and then they translate with Japanese characters or letters. And I, yeah, the game it's so good. Like if you're a Dark Souls fan, I played Demon Souls a little bit, and then as you grow up, you don't get a lot of time to just find and play all these games that you want all the time. But we got Bloodborne
Sure.
for free on PlayStation, and I love Bloodborne. Bloodborne is it's I 100% achieved everything I could with the PlayStation achievements on that game, and I love that game. So with Elden Ring, I'm like level, I don't know, 80 or level 100. And I haven't even gotten to the fire giant yet. I'm just exploring and invading uh and I'm just enjoying everything about the game. I'm enjoying all of the weapons, all the builds that people are coming out with. Uh, it's a fantastic game. It's definitely probably my top 10, top 5 games of all time, and
I
it's
have
only
a
been out 2 weeks.
I have a question for you guys. What's the multiplayer like? Because I've seen you talk a little bit about it, Jay, but I guess I'm curious what the whole multiplayer gameplay
Sure.
is like.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. So I think I'm like 154 or something level in the game. I've beaten the game. I've also like
You
beaten
let's be clear. Let's be clear. You've beaten one ending of the game.
one ending of the game,
Okay.
and I've also like beaten like the try hard like boss. But what I'll say is like how I was able to do that was multiplayer. Like doing like the fire giant where you're about to do Jay on, like I pretty much fought every boss cooperatively. And
Oh,
that's what kind of helped propel me through that. Some of those bosses, like, so I'll just, you don't need to know whatever, Jay. It's not a spoiling thing. There's a boss called Melania at the end. She's like the try hard one.
Oh,
Like,
I've seen streamers
she,
go against her.
it took me like a dozen tries to beat her, like with two other people. like, because she has like this life steal on hit thing. And my God, it's so hard to avoid like her little like I don't know her move.
Her,
her
her
move with
combo
it.
moves.
She's basically got a Sephiroth sword, and it's just
Yeah.
so she fucks you up with it. And but like I was able to beat the game because of cooperative play. And so the way it works is like every boss you go up to, which is kind of nice. I mean, this is something I like because this would be something that would annoy me about other Dark Souls games is that I have this as an option where I can kind of get some help. And and it can be kind of hit or miss, but every boss kind of has like a little stand that you go to, and then you turn on the stand, and then you have an item that you can. It's like a resource you gather, like blue mountain flower, right, in the game. So you go out and you pick blue mountain flower, and then you can, when you get 2 blue mountain flower, you can create this item that summons people, and then you summon them into to your instance, so to speak, and then they'll do the battle fight. They'll do the fight with you, and if they end up helping you defeat the boss, they end up getting like 50% of the experience or something.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah. So there are some limitations because like they do have like summons. So like, like almost like Final Fantasy style. Like you can. There's dozens of them in the game, and you can basically summon creatures that help you. But if you do cooperative play, you can't do that. But I wouldn't say that all the bosses after the fire giant I needed help with because that's actually not true. I would say maybe 60% of them. The rest of them I usually could just what I would do is I would try the boss first on my own, and if I beat them the first try, I wouldn't summon help. But if I didn't, then I would summon help. And so maybe about 35-40% of the bosses I was able to beat on my first try. But yeah, I mean, that's just my play style, though. I know, Jay, you probably play the game a little different, don't you?
I mean, I'll use a summon if the boss is just absolute. Like if I'm stuck on a boss for like 50 attempts, I'm gonna try to use whatever I got. But yeah, I agree that a lot of the bosses you find in the crypts and dungeons in the open world, some of them aren't too bad. Where you can just go in there, and if you're a decent level and you have good stat investment, you should be able to take it out pretty easy. But for like demigods and like Melania, which I haven't gotten to yet, and all of the shard bearer guys, they can be a little bit difficult. But there's some builds now. Like every day is coming out with like a new build for a weapon, and it's just really it's really cool to see the game in the early stages.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed that I think is really cool is everyone is kind of doing it their own separate way. Like everyone is kind of playing the game their own separate way. Like some people like to really over explore areas that they are in and find all the secrets and find all the optional
Yeah,
dungeons and bosses. Some people want to just blast right through it. Some people are trying different like weird builds that aren't very popular, but they're just, making it a little more challenging for themselves that way. And then yeah, some people are playing like strictly multiplayer or they're really utilizing the multiplayer aspect. So yeah, I'm excited to start playing it here eventually, but it's kind of cool to I've watched a bunch of streamers and yeah, it looks like a really fun game and everything I've heard from everybody is that it's a masterpiece. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I think Gator, what you'll like is invading other players. Our buddy James, a friend of ours, he's been doing a lot of invading, and I actually like to do some invading here and there.
Yeah.
But it's a little tricky because you can invade, two guys that are co-oping, so you could invade like a group of two,
Yeah.
and they'll just kill you, or you can invade somebody and there'll be one guy, and it's always great when like you know I'll invade and I'll have a great sword, and the guy I invade he has a great sword, and it's like, all right, any man goes. And there's like a little bit of like etiquette for like these Dark Soul, like these guys that are sweats when they do when they PvP, and they say you don't chug a potion, you don't heal, you go until you're dead. So there's like a lot of little nuances to the PvP, but you can really do whatever you want. You bought the game, you spend the money for it, you play it however you want. So that I really like.
Right.
I I enjoy that. I enjoy invading. I want to beat the game. I want to beat the game and get an ending, and then I want to do uh, a new game plus, or I want to make a completely new character and play it co-op with two other people. And I
Sure.
think that'd be really fun. Like I know another buddy of of ours, Gator, Jason, he was telling me the other day that he wants me to get through the game so we can make new characters, and then we meet up at the Lights of Grace where where we want to do stuff at, and then we just co-op him in.
Yeah.
And that would be kind of fun, just trying to take on all these bosses with hardly any levels, and just trying to go at it as a team of three. That's another great thing about the game. Everyone's they're gonna have their own chivalry to the game, or their own kind of this is the way how you play it. You're gonna have those guys that'll speed run. You'll have those guys
Yep.
max out all their incantations and try to like one shot bosses. You're gonna have your magic casters. You're gonna have the guys that are just gonna want to play with no summons, nothing on every boss, and try to beat it as a minimalist. And then I've even seen some people try to do pacifist runs in the game, which is kind of funny. I don't know how they are even going to be able to do that. But that's just the the good thing about the game. You can play it your way. You can just do whatever you want.
Sky's
And
the limit.
yeah, the sky's the limit. And I know there's been a lot of like Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 players that are saying, no, this game isn't as good as Bloodborne, or it's not as good as Dark Souls 3. They're entitled to their opinion, but I mean, just the sheer aspect of the lore and the bosses and the amount of customizations in the game, and on top of that, the exploration, like those games don't compare to that. Like they don't compare to how much is in Elden Ring, and the amount that was released too when it first came out. Like I don't agree with that. I love Bloodborne, and I have the merits to prove it. I've played Dark Souls 3, not very much. I've watched other people play it. I've watched my friends. Like I was talking about my friend before, Jason. I watched him play it, and yeah, it's a great game. But Elden Ring is something else. Like there's something about Elden Ring that just brings in players that have never even played a Souls game before, and they love it. So yeah, it's you can do whatever you want with it. You play it however you want.
So have you, Jay, have you, like, the one thing I have a PC, but I've got a PS5 that I enjoy playing a lot of games on. So I have Elden Ring on PS5, particularly because my brother has it on PS5. But I'm curious to know, so have you kind of dipped into the mods, or what you can, what type of stuff you can do from a modding standpoint if you own it on PC?
No,
I'm just kind of curious.
I no, I haven't done any mods with the game, and I don't even know how you'd begin doing mods, because there's I know that there's some mods that they don't want, and there's some mods that they're fine with. I think, but for the majority, I haven't done any modding with the game. I know you're really big into that, but I haven't. I'm sorry to tell you, I haven't
Yeah,
done.
I love it. I love it, but that's just something that usually comes with a lot of Bethesda games in particular.